Hello, hello, hello. How are you all? I hope my camera's the right way around. I'm in between seeing clients, but I wanted to come on today and check out with you how you found yesterday's video, and whether it was helpful. Are you able to implement? Hey Tracy, how are you? Thanks for joining. Whether you managed to implement. Hey Colin. Hey Caitlin. Whether or not you managed to implement any of it, do let me know. Today I wanted to join, just for those of you that might be new in the group that's watching, my name's Nicole Louis. I'm the CEO and founder of All About Families and the Social Workers Experience Exclusive Club here on Facebook. And I'm also the founder of Nicole's Launchpad, which is a step-by-step course for social workers who want to be independent, teaching them how to do it. So today I wanted to talk a bit about transitioning from being a permanent or agency worker to being fully independent, because there have been a few people that have asked, including some of the newer people that have come when they answer the questions in the group. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that and talk about the things that you really need to do. So get your notepad and pen. You can of course go back to this video and watch it as many times as you want, and you can put comments at the bottom if there's anything that you would like to ask. I don't know if I can access the comments while I'm on here. I never seem to know how to do that, but I certainly will check it afterwards and comment accordingly. So please do go ahead and do that. So there are a few steps that you need to take. I've kind of identified 6 main ones that were pivotal for me. And indeed, in my whole career, I knew I wanted to be a social worker when I was 13. So I kind of mapped out my whole career. I knew what I needed to do. I was very methodical, very clear. And so the first thing I would say, if you're a permanent worker or an agency worker and you want to be completely freelance, really operating freelance, is the first thing you need is a mindset change. Many social workers are quite institutionalized and don't realize it. They think that there's one way to do something, even if they've worked in different boroughs or counties or even countries or different areas that you've worked in within the industry. There seems to be a lot of restrictions. I don't know how it is abroad. From my conversations with some of the people in this group that are abroad, there are restrictions everywhere around social work. In some countries, it's a lot stricter than others and a lot tighter for social workers to be able to maneuver. So I have found, certainly from the social workers that I've been in touch with here in the UK, that they are quite institutionalized. I was also, and it took me quite a while to really become unstuck and be flexible with myself and allow myself the space to grow in a very different way. So the first thing is really a mindset change and being ready to think outside the box, be willing to take on something new and think about it in a different way, and be willing to try to implement it. A lot of social workers that I speak to are fearful of doing that transition because there's the lack of knowledge perhaps as to how to do it and what you need to do, but there's also a situation where they are just kind of stuck in one way of doing something, so they can't see past that. And if they can't see that way to do it, then they don't try. And so I really want to encourage you, if that's you, think about something different. Talk to people that you know that are in business, whether it's your family or friends. How do they do things in their industry, and what do they do different to others in their industry, so you can get an idea about how you can break your mold as well in whatever area you want to be in, whether it's opening projects in the community or doing something more internationally, whatever it might be, whether it's with particular age group or vulnerable group. Whatever it might be, what are people doing at the moment and what do you want to offer that's different? And that really ties into what I was talking about yesterday when I spoke about you having a niche and being very bespoke in your service so that you can be known and recognised. And that's particularly important if you're in a small town or a small country or small village, so that you can get known for what you do. So that's the first thing I'd say is mindset. The second thing that you really want to think about is having a clear plan in terms of your own personal things that you need to get sorted out. The fact is, as social workers, we help other people. And I've said this before, that can often be to the detriment of our own well-being. And sometimes the things that we need to do to take care of ourselves are not handled, and so things can spiral out of control in our own lives, whether that's health, family, finances, living arrangements, whatever it might be. And so it's important that you have a clear idea about what are the difficulties that you might be experiencing, whether you've got your own past in being a looked after child, or having experienced abuse or trauma, or whether you've got huge financial difficulties, or if you're responsible for a number of dependents, whether they're your children or not. You could be looking after and helping family, keeping family that are abroad, and all sorts of things. So you've got to be clear about where you are on your spectrum, whether that's health, whether that's in your personal relationships, and I don't just mean romantic relationships, friendships as well, whether they're healthy or not. Your living environment, are you living in a place that you want to be in? What's the plan? Is it conducive to the work that you're going to try and embark on as an independent worker, in terms of confidentiality, but not just that, you having the headspace to do what you need to do and actually run a business from home. So those are kind of the main things that I would say in terms of sorting out your personal life, and being really methodical. It does not mean, the one thing that I would say is, don't let those things stop you. If you have got difficulties, that should never stop you from moving forward, even if you have health difficulties. As long as you have a clear plan about how you're going to address them and how you're going to manage them, you can move forward. It may be that you think to yourself, okay, I'm going to give myself a time scale and I'm not going to do it straight away. That's fine. That's all part of your plan and part of you being methodical. But the main thing is that you're very much aware of all these elements in your personal life that you're able to take care of and move forward, because they will crop up as you move forward in your independent work. And what you want is a clean slate, a clear head, and a clear plan, so that those things are handled, so you can really focus in and kind of progress in your independent work. So that's the second thing. The third thing I'd say is that you've got to be clear about knowing what you want to do. And again, this links, I keep on saying this because I experienced it myself, where I've got so many skills and so many ways that I can monetize and do things that actually I really needed to narrow down. And I guess it was only after 3-4 years that I really started to narrow down and find out what is the one thing that I'm going to really progress and pursue relentlessly, and everything else can kind of be on the back burner. And that has led to me actually even thinking about rebranding. So at the moment, I'm in the process of redoing my website. If you haven't seen my website, it's www.allaboutfamilies.co.uk, and you can /the professionals, or go to the professionals tag, and you'll see what I provide for social workers. I changed that recently because it had lots of other professionals that I also cater for, but I'm focusing now just on social workers, and have been for a while. But I'm only now just kind of redoing the website so that it's clear, so that people, when they go onto the website, they know where to go. So I'm currently doing, in the behind the scenes, a whole overhaul of my website, and really changing it so it's even clearer, and so that people don't get confused. So you'll remember yesterday I was talking about the fact that you want people to really know what you are known for, and that they understand that they can go to you, Caitlin, you, Colin, you, Tracy, for A, B, C, and that you're the go-to person. It doesn't mean that you won't provide your other services, but it's clearer. You can send your target audience to the page of your website, or that, they can come directly to you for the one service that you provide. And when discussions, if you do other things, you can let them know and they can take you up on that, but you're predominantly known for one thing. That really helps your clientele find you so much easier, and it makes you way more referable. So that's something that I would say, that you've got to be clear about what you do, and you have to really go for it and write it down. I remember when I was at school and I decided, hey Julie, and I decided what I wanted to do, I wrote a career plan every single year. So I'd write the year, and then I'd write a list of the months, and then I'd write down exactly where I was going to work, what I was going to be doing, and why I was going to be doing it, what purpose, how's it going to benefit me career-wise and even personally. And I stuck to that plan, completely. I was flexible where I needed to be, but on the whole, I annihilated that plan every single year, and I continued doing that, for years to come, and even now. So I would say write it down, because a goal is a wish unless it's written down, and it means that you're able to be accountable, and you're able to go back to it and see, okay, am I meeting this goal? Am I on track? And that is really important if you're really serious about transitioning. The other thing that you want to be clear about is your support network, personally and professionally. So again, yesterday, and I've said it before on other lives, think about who you network with, not just other social workers, but who else in business do you know that will have a strategic alliance with you, that you can work with or partner with, even if it's not formally in terms of you having a business together, but somebody that you can call on for information, advice, and somebody that just gets it. Because one thing that you will learn quite quickly is that other social workers are not necessarily, when you've done that mindset change, not a lot of social workers are necessarily in the same space as you, and so it can be pretty lonely. I found that when I was first independent, that my social work friends that I went uni with, we meet up ever so often, every couple of months or something, and they weren't in the mindset space. It was great to have a laugh and stuff like that, but they didn't necessarily understand or couldn't relate to the struggles that I was experiencing as a business owner. And so having other people that are in business that get it is really important, and it's really great for your learning if they're in business in a completely different industry too. So it doesn't need to be the same industry, but if you can have a relationship with somebody who's you have a strategic alliance with, then that's even better, because then there's possibilities and opportunities for cross referrals. And yeah, so that's important, and that's really helpful. And then the fifth thing I would say is you have to have a date. Social workers are very good at setting dates and sticking to it, because we work to deadlines, do we not? Yeah, so how come we don't do it for ourselves? I've heard so many social workers say, yeah, I'm going to do it, I'm going to be freelance, I'm going to do it. And like 2-3 years down the line, still catching up with them. How are you doing? So how are you doing on your independent journey? Well, yeah, I haven't really done anything yet. I'm in this place now, I'm in this local authority working. And it's sad. It makes me sad when I hear that, because I know that these are people that are so skilled. I have a friend who works with perpetrators of domestic violence. She is absolutely amazing. And there's certainly are not enough independent workers that are providing that service for people who need that input. And she's got so much skills she can offer, and she wants to be independent, but she's not taking the leap. She's not doing it. So I'm still working on her. Because I know that she will be absolutely brilliant, and it's a service that local authorities can use. It's a service that perpetrators can refer themselves to. It's needed. So everybody wins in that respect. When we become independent, we can do so much more without the restrictions. So setting a date is important. I would definitely say you need to set yourself a date. It does not have to be like 2 months. It could be 1.5 years. It could be 3 years. You can have a really long plan that incorporates all your personal stuff that you want to get sorted, but it's kind of very methodical, and again, it's written down so you know where you're going. So the times where you lose focus, or the times where you're having a really crap day and you don't like your job, if that's you, then you can actually go back to that and say, do you know what, I've got a plan, and that can keep you going. And so I'd really encourage you to set a date, and I'm going to give you a challenge to set a date and drop it in the comments below as to when you would like to be fully independent. Okay, and what are you doing to get there? So I'd say that's the fifth thing. The sixth thing that I had was career planning, but I kind of covered that already, where I spoke about writing it down, being methodical, and being clear about what you want to do in your career. Where do you want to go? Some people are happy where they are. I met a social worker recently who I'd worked with about 3 years ago. No, 3 years before I had become independent. So we're talking like 8 years now. 8 years ago. And I met her recently, and she's now a manager. She wasn't before. She was newly qualified when I first met her. She's now a manager, and she just absolutely loves the team that she works in. She doesn't want to do anything else. I'm not sure whether she's interested in being independent. We didn't kind of discuss that, but she's really happy where she is. She loves the team, and that's okay. There are some people that would like to do that. But I know that people like yourselves that are in this group, Julie, Caitlin, Colin, Tracy, you guys have expressed an interest because you're in this group, and the idea of being independent interests you. And so to take that further for you and other people, I guess it's about committing to yourself and challenging yourself to move things forward. So I encourage you to set a date, all of you that are in this group, and put the date down in the comments. I've set a date for myself as to when I'm relaunching and opening up my cart for some more students, and that's going to be the end of October. And I've also set dates for my website and stuff to be finished, and filming and interviews with other individuals that I'm going to be bringing onto the course and making the experience even better for the new cohort of students and the existing students that I've got. And I've set dates for that, and I'm working very hard towards that. And I'm loving the journey. It's just so exciting. Being independent is a whole new world that opens up so much opportunities and experiences that I never thought I had. I'm working in a way that I never thought that I would. But so yeah, it's just amazing, and I can't wait for you guys to have the same experience wherever you are in the world. Yeah, and it would be great to meet some of you who are abroad as well. I'd love to meet you all at some point. So one day, hopefully we'll be able to connect face to face. So with that said, I will love you and leave you until tomorrow. Hey, Joanna, just joining us, and I'm just finishing. I was just talking about transitioning from being a permanent worker or agency worker to being independent, and I covered the 6 steps, which was mindset shift, sorting out your personal affairs, knowing what you want to do, career planning, having a support network, both professionally and business wise, and setting yourself a date. And I've challenged everyone who's watching this live to drop a date, no matter how far in the future it is, to commit to yourselves as to when you're going to become independent and what steps are you going to start taking towards that. So I'll remind you that there are some resources in the file section. A few people didn't know that actually, that have come into this group and have been here for a while. There is in the file section, which is to the left, you'll see down the sidebar, it will be kind of about, discussion, blah, blah, blah. Further down, there's files. There are quite a few resources. There is one on career planning, incidentally, for social workers. So I would encourage you to download that. I think I had posted that at the beginning of the year. So we're now toward the end of the first quarter of the year. So it's not too late to fill it out. Go ahead and download it and fill it out. And yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the dates that you have planned. So if there are other social workers that you know of that are interested in being independent, toying with the idea, hi Eric, and they just would like some information and resources to help them and a community support, then they can join this group. You can invite them to come and join this group, tell them about it. I'm also on LinkedIn and Twitter and Instagram. Those are the other platforms that I'm on. And I'm just trying to bring everybody into one place, which is here, because it's easier to manage. Yeah, so thank you for listening. Eric, you joined a bit late, but you could rewatch it. It's a short video. And yeah, it was great speaking with you guys, and look forward to hearing your dates. Bye.